So you want to give it.
All right, we're back. So those of you diehards who are here for the next session, you will see, as I say, he always repeats. I think it's good for us to keep hearing again. He'll go through all the steps that he has, and then he's going to dive in to the next part of converting that conversation. So any questions before we start? Good? Okay, let me share the screen. And this one? Okay. 4, 5.
Today, I want to teach you guys how to transition a conversation like a pro, but to do it with heart. And I'm excited to bring this training to you guys because this is probably the most requested training I get from our Teamzy community. So I thought I'd come to one of my favorite San Diego and record this training for you guys. So here's where a lot of you get stuck. I know so many of you have told me that you are attracted to Teamzy and the Teamzy way of doing business, the relationship marketing way of doing business, because you love that we put the relationship as a higher priority than a sale, that we place emphasis on investing in people as opposed to trying to recruit them to our team. And you love the heart behind that and the service and the love that goes into building a business this way. Where I think a lot of you get stuck is you get so focused on connecting and making someone's day, which is exactly what we want you to do, but you never talk about your business. You never get to the point where you invite them to learn more, to come into your opportunity. And I want you to know that you need to do both. Relationship marketing is about investing in people and about investing in relationships. But at the end of the day, you're in this business because you believe and are passionate about helping people with it, right? And so if you're going to help people with your business, you have to actually talk about your business. You have to actually invite them into the business. So today I'm going to teach you how to do the transition. Okay, so the very first point of our training today is, number one, is having the conversation. So you get into Teamzy, you're doing your power hour, and you start conversations. Maybe you use my scripts to get them started. Now it's up to you to actually have the conversation, right? And I get messages where people go, oh my gosh, they responded, now what? This is where you have the conversation. So first thing I want you to do is ask questions. Okay, ask questions. Use the FORM format. Have you guys ever seen FORM? It's an acronym, F-O-R-M, F-O-R-M, FORM. Okay, this stands for family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Ask questions. How's your family? How are you? What are you doing for work these days? Have you done anything fun lately? Oh my gosh, I saw on Facebook that you went on vacation. How was that? Ask questions using the FORM format if you're not sure what to ask. And be interested. Number two is I want you to be interested in them. So often we are wired to be automatic teller machines. In other words, we're waiting for our turn to tell about ourselves. Don't be that way. Be interested in them. Ask questions. Find out more about them. Take notes, by the way, when appropriate as well. Pay attention to what they're saying to you. And what you want to do as you're asking questions is, my third piece of having the conversation is looking for wants and needs. And you're looking for wants and needs. You're looking for things, that little clues they're giving you to their life, maybe where there's pain points or maybe where they need some help. Because your goal of the conversation, okay, make sure you get this point. The goal of the conversation is to help them. Find a way to help them, okay? And if you can uncover anything you can do to help them, I want you to do it immediately. If they're looking for, they need a referral to a new dentist for their kids and you know a great one, give them the referral, immediately help them. Maybe you're recommending a book to them. Maybe you are praying for them because they're in a tough situation. However you can help them right now, I want you to look for a way to help them. Make sense? Okay, the second point that I want to talk to you about today is the transition. How do you now transition this great conversation you're having? You're catching up, you're interested in them, you're asking questions, you're looking for wants and needs. How do you now transition it to talk about your business? Okay, so at some point in the conversation, when you are being interested in somebody else, they are going to feel compelled to ask about you. This is called the law of reciprocity, and it's something that all human beings have. You've been interested in them. Now they're going to feel compelled to ask, well, what about you? What are you doing? What have you been up to? How are you? And this is your opportunity to now talk about your business. Now, what I don't want you to do is just throw up on them like, oh, did I tell you that I am a consultant for XYZ network marketing company? And here's my link. And can you please buy my products? Gross. What I want you to do though is respond, tell them about what you're doing, but just kind of feather it into the conversation. And this is where all of those things you've been listening for, you can then feather back in. So I look at it like this. There are 3 areas of benefit that your business opportunity provides for you that you can now use to discuss your business in a very natural way. Okay. So I'll just list them out for you and then I'll go through each one. The first is the personal benefits. The second are the financial benefits. And the third is the mission. Okay. Personal, financial, and mission. So first, what are the personal benefits? I might say something like, I'm great. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I recently lost 60 pounds and I feel amazing. You know, or you might say, it feels so good because I think this year I actually aged in reverse. I mean, I don't know what your product is, but tell about a personal benefit that you've had. I don't know if you know that I was a diabetic and now I'm not, or I used to be on high blood pressure medication, now I'm not, or whatever it is. Okay. I used to spend too much on my cosmetics. I don't know, whatever it is, but you can talk about a personal benefit that you've received to open up the conversation about what you're doing. Make sense? Also, another one is time. Huge is time. How are you, Eric? I might say, I'm great. You know, one of the best things about my life these days is I get to spend every day with my kids. You do? Yeah, I get to spend every day with my kids. Or I get to have all this time for myself. I get to make my own schedule. Things like that that are personal benefits of the business that we're in. Make sense? Another one is freedom. As people are talking to you about their job, a lot of times they'll complain. Have you noticed that? They'll complain about their boss, complain about their work. And one of the things you might share is, one of the things I love is being my own boss, having the freedom to choose what I do. Okay. You see how I'm reflecting back things I might have heard and talking about my business as we go. They go, you're your own boss. What does that mean? Yeah, I haven't had a job in 3 years. How's that working? Well, I have my own business. Start talking about your business. The other one that I love talking about are vacations, especially when you get a free vacation from your network, which I know a lot of you do. That's the best. So how are you, Eric? Oh, amazing. We just got back from the Caribbean cruise. You did? How was that? It was amazing. The best part of it was paid for. How was it paid for? I won it. I got it for free because of my business. You know, and so you start sharing some of these personal benefits, the things that you're achieving because of your business. It's just a natural way to talk about the business. Okay, the second area that I would talk about are financial benefits. If people are complaining about money, or that seems to be a concern that's coming up in your conversation, it's a great way to share what you're doing. Again, most of the network marketing companies don't allow you to talk about income, not without some sort of legal disclosure, right? And you're not going to have a natural conversation with a friend by starting with a legal disclosure. But what you can do is talk about things that you've been able to do because of the financial benefit of your business. So you might share something like, you know, one of the things I love most about what I'm doing is the fact that my mortgage is paid every month with just this extra hour a day that I put into my business. You know, you're not telling them an actual number, but they understand that a mortgage payment is a substantial help to your income each month. I might also talk about how Christmas is paid for already this year. Maybe it's early in the year, spring. Best part is Christmas is already paid for. How is that possible? Because of this business I'm doing. And again, talk about vacations that are paid for, things that you're able to do and not have to worry about money because of the extra income you're earning. Does that make sense? So that second component are sharing the financial benefits of your business. And then the last piece that I use sometimes to segue in is the mission. What's your mission? Now, I used to say to people, I love that I get to help people every day. I get to help people. And what is it that you help them with? Tell them. I get to help people with their skin. I get to help people lose weight. I get to help people be fit, healthy. I get to help people with eliminate chronic disease. I don't know exactly what your product line is, but talk about the mission that you're on in your business and why you're passionate about it. Okay. And also the other piece that you can share is your company's mission. And I know every network marketing company has a great mission statement that they build their community around. One of the best parts of being in this business is that you get to plug into that community of other people who share a passion for this mission. I know with Beachbody, years ago when I was Beachbody coach, it was to help people lead healthy and fulfilling lives. That was something I could get behind personally. I help people lead healthy and fulfilling lives. Share the mission with people. Okay, so we've talked about having the conversation. We talked about the transition to talking about your business. Now I want to take you through number 3, which is the transition to invite. Okay, this is important because you've got to get invites. If you don't invite people to learn more about your business, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to make friends, but not build a business. Okay, so there's 2 pieces to this. Number 1, you want to plant a seed. So as you're talking to people and you're asking questions, you're learning about them, a lot of people aren't really going to be interested in your business right now. And that's okay. We're not going to press them to buy. Or we're not going to press them to join your business. But at the very least, we're always going to plant a seed. We're always going to plant a seed. Okay, and I say if any one of your conversations that progresses past the little thumbs up emoticon, you're going to plant the seed. And here's what we want to do in the plant the seed. Very simple. You need to tell them what your business is and why you do it. Tell them what your business is and why you do it. Share your passion. Now, a lot of people get stuck on this because they're so worried about coming across as the icky salesperson. They never tell anybody that they have a business. They never say, well, I'm a consultant or I represent this product, because they're terrified to do it. If you don't do this, you're not going to get anywhere in your business. Now, let me just ask you a question. If I'm a school teacher and somebody says, hey, Eric, what do you do for a living? I would say, I'm a school teacher. You know, I found at an early age that I was passionate for helping kids. I wanted to be part of the solution for all the ills of our country. And I felt like the best way I could do that is making an impact in children. That's my passion, is helping kids, helping develop our future. Would you have any problem whatsoever if your friend shared that with you? Absolutely not. So if you need to share what you do, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter that it's network marketing, you need to share it. Okay, I'm a consultant for this company, and I love helping people. I love what it's done for people, and it's done this for me. And share that passion with people. You need to let them know. You're not selling them. You're just sharing with them what you're doing. Does that make sense? That number 1 thing we're always going to do is plant the seed. Whether or not you're going to invite, or whether or not they're interested in your business, they need to know what your business is and why you do it. Okay. So then what we do is you just kind of let it go with this is the little seed you plant, where you say, you know, I'm an XYZ consultant. I help people do this. And if you know anybody who needs help in that area, I want you to know I would be honored to help them. Okay. You may even say, if you're kind of sensing it, or if you wanted a little bit more information on that, I'd be happy and honored to help you. That's all. You just leave it out there. This is what I do. This is why I do it. And if you know anybody who might need help or more information on this, let me know. I'd be happy and honored to help them. That's it. You just leave that out there like that. Everybody gets that. Everybody gets that. Okay? Now, if somebody is showing some interest and you're feeling that motivation, like they might want to learn a little bit more, then you're going to send them a specific invite. You know, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about this, we've got a special event coming up that I can send you the link to. It's going to be virtual. You can jump in there and learn more about the company. Or if you'd like to learn more, let's get together and get some coffee, grab a beer, something. Let's talk a little bit more about it, right? Whatever it is that you have to invite them to a 3-way call with an upline. I don't know what it is that you invite to, but this is your opportunity to invite them to something when they show some interest. Make sense? So you go through the whole process, have the conversation, transition the conversation, talk about your business, plant the seed, and then invite them to something. And once you've invited them, you're going to put them on your follow-ups list, and you're going to follow up like a pro. Follow up until you help them through the process to getting the help that they need. If they're not interested enough to get an invite, you've planted the seed for next time. You let them go into your Teamzy flow, and they're just going to come up naturally in a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on their ranking in Teamzy, and you just connect with them again. Each time that relationship gets warmer. And that's how you do it. That's how you have a great conversation. You ask questions, you be interested, you look for wants and needs, ways to help. Share your passion, what you do and why you do it. Plant the seed, and when appropriate, invite. This is really important because a lot of you are wimping out when it comes to the invite. You're saying, Eric, I love Teamzy. I love building relationships. I love that the focus is on helping and loving people. And that's good. But you got to tell them what you do. And you've got to do the inviting. Okay, that is a key component. Otherwise, you're being too passive. So if you've been doing this for a while and enjoying it, but you're not seeing results, that's probably it. You need to focus on transitioning, focus on inviting, and then follow up like a pro. I hope that was really helpful for you guys. We are now going to enjoy this spot. Got the guys behind the camera here. They're looking at the beer menu. We're going to have some fun. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself and getting this training. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
Everybody hear me?
Yes. What was number 1?
Plant a seed.
Plant the seed. Okay, thank you.
He stole that from Stephen Ritz, right?
I think maybe the Bible.
Yeah, it's probably the Bible.
I just always laugh because I remember a lot of if you watched enough of the Green Bronx videos, he always ended his video, put a seed in the ground, put a seed in the ground. That's what he used to always say, put a seed in the ground. So it's kind of the same thing. So let's talk about what everybody got out of that video, because it's much more about getting that conversation to really telling them more about your business and your products.
Well, I really liked how he talked about not just throwing up on them, because I try not to do that anymore, but I've done it in the past, and you can just see people glaze over or go, oh God, you know. But I love the way he talks about when we plant that seed, then maybe that was in the other one. Sorry, I'm getting the trainings. Well, that all meshes together anyway. But when we're talking to someone, if they're not necessarily showing interest in what we're doing, then we can say, you know, hey, if you know of anybody that could benefit from what I'm doing, I'd be honored to help them if you wouldn't mind introducing us. I think that is really great. That's something that before the Teamzy training, I hadn't really considered doing. I'd never thought of it before. So I really like that.
Yeah, I really like I'd be honored to help them. I mean, I've said that in many times, because I think we've all gone, many of us have gone through the boot camps and a lot of Eric Johnson's training. And the one key thing that, people always talk about their warm market and kind of exhausting their warm market. And Eric Johnson always says that if you do it this way, you never run out of a warm market, because you leave conversations, even though you've introduced Juice Plus, you've given them the product, but because you've built that conversation and maybe you've moved on to other things, they're still in your warm market. They didn't go away, like you said. You didn't barf on them, and they didn't go away like, I don't want any of that.
And really, we want to build relationships. Jay Martin from day one has always said that this is a relationship business. And so that's what's so important. And that's what's so great about the way that Eric teaches, because he teaches us how to build those relationships. Because not everybody knows how to do that. We're in such a technology world that we don't all know how to really build relationships with people, have conversations. Bobby, were you going to say something? You unmuted yourself.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're unmuted, so I thought maybe you were wanting to say something.
No, I just kind of build off what you said. Like earlier, you said, you sign on a lot of people that don't want to sell anything. And I was that way for a long time, because I've lost friends because they have thrown up on me. They have pushed me to the point where I'm like, I don't talk to you anymore. I don't want to I'm blocking you on Facebook because all you ever do is, you know, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And I don't want to be that person. I want to keep my friends. So like that whole, you know, plant a seed. And if they're interested, then, you know, do a little bit more. If not, they'll come back around later. I just absolutely love that and I even tell people, you know, if you're not interested in that's great. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I still want you to be my friend later. And I don't want you to, you know, see me coming in the grocery store and have to go hide behind the bread rack because I throw up on you about Juice Plus all the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, oh, I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jen.
I just wanted to say that, like, I feel like I'm pretty good about building the relationships and having the conversation, which is something I need to do in doing hair. But my thing is I'm always nervous about like making somebody feel uncomfortable by throwing up my business. But I just need to, like, I like how he said, you need to plant that seed and you have to transition that conversation if it's ready to. And don't be scared of that. And that's something that I need to really work on because I don't, you know, I have a hard time because I know what it feels like when people are just throwing up, all these companies. And on Black Friday, I'm not kidding you, I had 7 Facebook messages for different companies to purchase something. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I don't ever want to sound like that. But like, if we follow these steps and then make sure that we don't chicken out and we need to transition on conversation. That's something that I got out of it because I really need to work on transitioning that conversation.
Yeah, I do too. I really am realizing more and more through this training. Like I just want to dive in with the solution, probably just from, you know, my background and educational background and corporate background. You know, I'm solutions minded from a project management perspective. And then I look at myself, how I am as a person, and I don't like people just telling me what to do. I want to, well, the finesse of what Eric is teaching us. You know, I would be more susceptible to listen to somebody doing that than just, oh, you have this problem, this is what you should do, and blah, 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 blah. So I think we all agree we don't like to be thrown up on. But I'm glad that I'm realizing it. You know, I realized for years I've probably done that, and I know that I've done it, and sometimes it's worked, but more often it's not. And I don't know that if I've lost any friends, but certainly maybe have gotten them to be shied away from having more of a conversation about health. I mean, my family even told me that, my son and daughter-in-law, because every conversation would turn around to health. But I'm passionate about it. I think it's fun to talk about it. But they told me, like, that's all I ever talk about. And it was like, wow, okay, that's fine then. And so the last few times I've been with them, I don't even bring it up. Like, if they're complaining about something, I'm just like, oh, okay. So I have to find the right balance, though, because that's what he's talking about, is the transitioning or being honored to help, or just finding that right balance and not just completely shutting down because of the fear of, oh, what are, you know, my past experience doesn't have to dictate my future experience. Just learn from it, glean from it, and continue to go through the steps that we're learning. So
for me, I so relate to what you said, Lori. We've been in the business for so many years. You know, we're going on 18 years next in 2020. For me, I have to learn how to transition from my personal relationships that I'm with all the time, like family. I've been told the same thing by very close friends and family. And so I have to learn to transition to restraint so that I'm just really listening and just letting it go. So I have to pray about restraint or constraint, about bringing up. And I've had to practice. I have a lot of practice because I'm with my daughter a lot and my family members, and then be able to give myself the permission, so to speak, with other people when I hear a need to bring it up. and not be afraid. So, I mean, it's kind of a new training for me too. But Eric Teamzy has taught me so much about getting that mindset of putting the other people first. I've got stickers on my computer here that say, you know, what can I do to help to make someone's day? Follow up as an act of love. But these kinds of things is to remind me that I'm on a mission from God to help other people. And it's just not going to be the people that I think about all the time. I mean, we desperately probably a lot of us have family members that we so want them to get on Juice Plus and they just won't. And I just cannot bring it up anymore because I don't want it to break a relationship with family members. You know what I mean? I don't want to turn them off. So, but it's been a whole new wonderful training, and you guys are all on the right track with being involved with Teamzy.
You know, Lori, I was thinking when you were talking about how when they do complain now that you're aware that you're more help, wanting to help them more than they're wanting to hear. In the training just before this, he talked about finding out what they've done to alleviate said problem, and if they're really truly open to hearing, you know, looking for, you know, finding a solution, or if they're just complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, we were here, so I'm still in Denver, and there was 15 people here for Thanksgiving, and one of Calvin's friends, I don't even know why it came up, but we were talking about GI problems and constipation and stuff. And I thought, oh God, please don't let Andrea or Calvin hear this conversation, because they're going to think I brought it up. I mean, and I didn't bring it up. Ben did. Oh God. And they come by a couple times, and I'm just like, you know what? I can stand here in confidence because I know I didn't bring it up, but that was in the back of my mind. Like, I'm going to hear about this.
And people talk about that stuff, right? That's what makes what we do so awesome, because there's always three things that they talk about. They talk about their health, they talk about their finances, their job, or their families, and we can fill needs in all of those areas. So that's funny.
I was just going to add, I'm newer to this, so it's not, I don't think I've been in this situation where I've talked too much about it, because I'm still trying to gracefully form my words, you know, so I'm sometimes reluctant because I might say the wrong thing or something. So it's really kind of good to thoughtfully approach this. You know, and it is a fear of mine that I do think about too. You know, I don't want to have all the moms on the football sidelines standing over here because they're afraid I'm going to keep talking about Juice Plus. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to be authentic and some days not talk about it and just ask. So asking, and Kevin and I having triplets, we would go through so many years when they were babies where we would leave an event, we're like, we didn't talk about ourselves the whole night. Everyone asked us, do they sleep? Do they eat? How do you do this? And so being conscientious. So I really made some notes about the first video about asking the questions that I, you know, took notes on form and really asking questions. I think that's a great tool to let them guide the conversation, so that if they take it to something that we are interested in and genuine or whatever, and if it doesn't go there, it doesn't go there. So we don't have to risk feeling like weasels. But then also too, what I really loved too, because I also really stutter over that transition. And so what the whole planting the seed, but after the call, I made a note on the other column on my notebook here. I'm going to write out the benefits, you know, the personal, the financial, the mission. I'm going to write out in my own words, and I'm going to write a bunch of different ways, because I am at the stage where when somebody says, what do you do? I'll start reciting the Juice Plus website. You know, I'm a consultant for a company called Juice Plus, and that stands for, I mean, it's so hilarious, you know? And so that is going to be so helpful to me, because then I walk away like, oh, you idiot. Why did you do that again? You know? And so this was super valuable for me. So I'm going to have a full notebook by this afternoon.
But that does remind me of a scenario that happened over the Thanksgiving holiday for me. which was I belong to quite a few gardening groups. I don't know if you're in other gardening groups, but one that I've found interesting is it's actually based out of the UK, but it's a container and vertical gardening group. And, you know, like most groups, you're not allowed to sell on it. So naturally, you know, you have to find ways to get out of that. And mostly what I do is someone will post something similar to a tower garden, similar. And I will just post a picture of my tower gardens, and I'll just say, hey, that looks just like my tower garden that I've been selling for 9 years. You know, it's just hey, that looks like, you know, it's just a off the cuff comment. And of course I have a picture of mine. And of course, what normally happens is I get 4 or 5 people that are like, wow, give me more information on that. And so I go through the process of doing that, but I do it offline, of course, not in the group. One of the individuals, and which you have to watch out for because it's a UK group, is it's international. So you're naturally going to get some people interested in, you know, Ethiopia that you can't sell a tower garden to. So, you know, you got to deal with that. But anyway, in this scenario, it was a person from Phoenix. And just understand the same thing with Eric Johnson. Even though I'm interested in selling him a tower garden, a lot of my questions I'm always asking are really down the road. I'm wanting to share Juice Plus information with him. You know, and we've talked about it. There are some people that build their business with tower gardens. It's not me. It's Juice Plus that builds our businesses. Tower garden is an avenue to get them there. And that's what I'm doing with this individual, is I'm asking those form questions. I know he lives in Phoenix. I mentioned that we're going to be in Phoenix in March. Little things like that, so that, you know, there's a potential of not only selling him a tower garden in the near future, but also, you know, giving him some Juice Plus information and definitely those asking the constant questions and consistent questions to understand, you know, where does he live? What's his occupation? How many wife, kids, you know, things like that. And lo and behold, I wouldn't be, you know, there's a possibility I could be having a cup of coffee with him one of the mornings of the conference, as an example, to kind of build that relationship, because he's in Phoenix and I'll be there in March. But those is an example of asking those questions. Any other, before we hand this off? This thing went a whole hour, except it's 2.
And we have a huddle call in a few minutes.
Yeah, we got a huddle call now, starting now. So
So it's on this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
All right, I'll say goodbye.
just stop the recording.